Attention passionate Washington Commanders fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Washington Commanders' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Washington Commanders fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with YOURFRINDS and Washington Commanders FANS. Let's get to the news now, folks. If you've been paying close attention to the NFL landscape this year, you know that the NFC East has been buzzing with activity, and the Washington Commanders are right in the middle of it. The team has been quietly building something special, and there's a real sense that this offseason could be a turning point, not just for the roster, but for their entire franchise outlook. You see, last year the Commanders showed flashes of promise, but it was clear they were still in the process of retooling, especially on offense. With a new coaching staff led by Ron Rivera and some strategic moves in the draft and free agency, the team has aimed to strengthen key positions, including quarterback and running back. But what's really catching everyone's attention now is the possibility of adding experienced veterans to this mix, players who can immediately impact on and off the field. Let's talk about Austin Ekeler first. Last year, Ekeler was a fantasy football villain for many, especially because of his incredible production in 2022. He was the kind of player who could single-handedly win you a fantasy matchup. But then 2023 hit and everything changed. Ekeler was dealing with an ankle injury that severely hampered his performance. His yards per carry dropped to just 3.5 and his production plummeted. It was a tough season for him, no doubt. Injuries, especially for running backs, can be a career-changing event. Ekeler's efficiency and overall impact on the Chargers' offense declined sharply, making many fans and fantasy owners question if he'd be able to bounce back. But here's the interesting part. Fast forward to this season, and Ekeler's role has transformed. He's no longer the same player we saw in 2022, but he's still a vital piece for the Chargers, especially in a different role that emphasizes his versatility. His reputation has been somewhat rehabilitated because of that adaptability. Ekeler now is seen as a team player, someone who can contribute in various ways, even if he's not putting up the same gaudy numbers as before. And this is where the Washington Commanders come into the picture. They've been trying to build a balanced defense, and a veteran like Ekeler with his experience and leadership could be an intriguing addition, especially if he's open to a new environment and a different role. But here's where things get really interesting. Washington isn't just thinking about Ekeler. No, they're looking to make a splash, and one of the names that's been circulating around NFL insiders is none other than Nick Chubb. Yes, Nick Chubb, the former All-Pro running back who's been a cornerstone of the Cleveland Browns offense for years now. ESPN insider Jeremy Fowler recently suggested that the Commanders could make a play for Chubb, and honestly, it's not as far-fetched as it might seem. Fowler mentioned that Chubb is expected to play next season, even though he's coming off a tough year that saw his production dip and his injury concerns rise. You see, Chubb's story over the last year has been quite a roller coaster. Coming off that devastating second knee injury, which many thought could be the end of his career, he managed to return to the field. But it's been a season of struggle. His yards per carry dropped to around 3.3, well below his career average of over 5 yards per attempt. That knee injury, coupled with a toe injury that ultimately ended his season, casts serious doubt on his future as a dominant back in the league. So while Chubb is still only 28, some might think his best days are behind him, especially considering his injury history and the wear and tear that comes with being an NFL running back. However, don't count out the possibility of a comeback just yet. The NFL is all about second chances and strategic moves, and Washington might see Chubb as a low-risk, high-reward gamble. The team's current backfield features Brian Robinson Jr., who has been impressive and looks to be the starter, but adding a veteran like Chubb could provide insurance and another dimension to their rushing attack. Maybe a limited role, a sort of change of pace back, could be just what Chubb needs to get his confidence and production back on track. For Washington, the idea is to bolster their offensive line and create a running game that can control the clock, keep defenses honest, and open up opportunities for their young quarterback. Perhaps someone like Sam Howell, who's been developing nicely. Now the question is, why would Chubb consider joining Washington? Well, with his market shrinking, he's likely looking for a team where he can make an immediate impact and perhaps even earn a more lucrative deal than what's currently on the table. The Commanders, with their recent investments and a clear vision for the future, could be an appealing landing spot. Especially if Washington offers him a role that emphasizes his strengths, north-south running, ability to break tackles, and explosiveness. And let's not forget, the allure of a deep playoff run can be tempting for a veteran looking to chase a ring, especially after coming so close in past seasons with Cleveland. But it's not just about Chubb. The Commanders are also exploring other avenues to improve their roster, including draft prospects, free agents, and strategic trades. They've been aggressive in reshaping their team, and adding a seasoned veteran like Chubb or Ekeler could be the final piece to a puzzle that has been slowly coming together. Fans are buzzing because they see the potential for this team to challenge for the NFC East title, perhaps even make a deep playoff run if everything clicks. The NFC East has always been a competitive division, with Dallas, Philadelphia, and New York all vying for supremacy, but Washington's recent moves suggest they're not content to just be spectators anymore. They want to be contenders. Now let's take a moment to analyze the current state of the Commanders' roster. At quarterback, they've got Sam Howell, a young player with a lot of upside. Howell showed flashes last season, and with the right supporting cast, he could develop into a franchise quarterback. The offensive line has been a work in progress, but the team has invested in strengthening it. The wide receiver group is promising, with a mix of young talent and experienced veterans. But the real X factor could be the addition of a veteran running back, someone who can carry the load and provide leadership in the backfield. That's why the Chubb or Eckler rumors are gaining traction. They could be the missing piece that elevates the entire offense. Defensively, Washington has been solid, especially with their front seven. They've got a good mix of pass rushers and run stoppers, and their secondary is improving. But the offense is the key to unlocking their full potential, and that's where these veteran signings come into play. A seasoned back like Chubb could help take the pressure off the young quarterback, making the offense more balanced and unpredictable. Plus, having a veteran presence in the locker room is invaluable, especially for a team looking to build a winning culture. Looking ahead to the upcoming season, expectations are high. Fans are dreaming of a playoff appearance, and with the right additions, that dream can become reality. The NFC East is tough, no doubt about it, but the Commanders are showing they're ready to compete. The coaching staff's emphasis on discipline, smart play, and physicality is evident. The question now is whether they'll pull the trigger on these veteran signings and how quickly these players can integrate into the team's system. Timing is everything in the NFL, and with training camp just around the corner, the next few weeks will be crucial for Washington's front office. In conclusion, the potential signing of someone like Nick Chubb or even Eckler could be a game-changer for the Commanders. It's about adding experience, leadership, and explosiveness to a team on the rise. Their strategy to incorporate veterans to complement their young core shows they're serious about making a push for the playoffs and beyond. Fans should stay tuned because the offseason is far from over, and the moves Washington makes in the coming weeks could define their season and perhaps even their franchise's future. This is an exciting time to be a Washington Commanders supporter because after years of rebuilding, it looks like the team is finally ready to take that leap forward and compete at the highest level. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Washington Commanders news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. Finally, as we wrap up, I want to emphasize how crucial these offseason moves are for Washington. The NFL is a league of inches, and sometimes just one or two veteran signings can turn everything around. The Commanders are looking at a window of opportunity, and they're not shying away from taking calculated risks to make their mark. Whether it's Chubb, Eckler, or another veteran, these players could be the spark that ignites Washington's playoff push. And as always, our role here is to keep you informed, engaged, and excited about what's coming next. So keep an eye on this team, stay connected with the latest news because the best is yet to come for the Washington Commanders. And now, Washington Commanders fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Washington Commanders. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Washington Commanders news.